All right. What's up, Allie? I'm running to grab another beverage, everybody. Don't leave. It's going to be chair stream for a few seconds. What's up, Johnny? Dude, Johnny, you absolutely called this, man. Your new Bad Batch is looking hella nice right now. They look real good. What's up, Justin? Dude, our man Lord Vader finally getting that rework. Let's fucking go. Pretty pumped about that. I cannot wait. All right, guys, I'm just saying it now. I'm going to say it a lot. I cannot wait to use this dude with a bunch of clone troopers storming the Jedi Temple. Like, that is going to be... I'm going to cry, to be honest. Like, that is literally... Like, I am not exaggerating. You guys will hear me talk about it tomorrow in my video that I just recorded. Holy shit, like, that was my favorite part of playing Star Wars Battlefront 2 was the mission at the Jedi Temple. Like, that was the greatest part of it. It literally so awesome. I mean, yeah, it's unbelievable. I honestly think, I truthfully believe that they've wanted to do stuff with Lord Vader for a while, and that what they were trying to do, at least the way I've always seen it, is that they've tried to make slight changes and tweaks here and there with new characters, and none of them have really panned out. I think the biggest issue they ran into with him was his damage in the beginning is way too little. But if you started him off at a damage threshold like Kylo, then the ramping that Lord Vader could get to is just ridiculous. Like, I do think that's one of the problems with him, is if you gave him the damage that, like, Kylo has to start, Lord Vader would literally be the greatest GL ever. So you get too long for him to ramp, and you can kind of delete his team before that. So this new Clone Trooper team is going to be so lit. I'm so pumped. And there's a lot of other stuff that's going to be happening to kind of, you know, like, I think, like, one of the things a lot of you are going to have to start doing is getting your dark side Mandos up and running. Because where the hell else are you going to use Maul? Man, I'm like, there's not that many people here, and I'm already going off. I can't wait. So pumped. Everybody make sure you like the stream. All right, we got to like the stream. I got to get back into the habit of, like, you know, saying that shit. Get a yawn counter up. Yeah, I mean, but if the yawns start coming, you know, we're going to end it. I don't know how long I can. My wife's got to get up super early for a wedding tomorrow, so I am on kid duty ASAP, which is always a scary thought. Yeah, Tarkin Rework as well. Don't forget, what's up, Tank Ideals? Don't forget that Tarkin Rework. The Tarkin one's going to kind of sneak under the radar a little bit. I'm pretty pumped about this dude getting Rework. Gonna have to, I mean, the thing that sucks is I'm gonna have to, like, work on their mods, which is never a fun situation, but it's at least gonna happen, right? You know, we'll get to all of that. Thank, congrats, man. Recent fatherhood, dude. Cheers. Cheers. This one's for you. Cheers, my friend. We'll see about roster reviews. I'm not gonna promise anything. I don't like this super. I don't like this super seer. I don't like the whole super seer thing. The problem with super seer is, like, what you're getting out of that. I just don't feel there's enough benefit compared to getting, like, a Maul Mando team. Like, especially if you end up using Dark Trooper Moff Gideon in that team. You know, there's some shit that can go down, right? So I'll be kind of curious to see how that pans out. like how we end up using your Mandalore, like where Maul goes. I would assume that Royal Guard, is going to end up going with Tarkin, would be my guess. Like, there's no way that they just kind of completely let this dude fall to the wayside. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the Super Seer. I've never liked it. I feel like you're sacrificing too many teams when you do that, especially if you're pulling, like this is the one that always, like, just kills me. Is, where am I at? If I go here, like, this is the one that just kills me. If I see this, I just want to, like, cry inside. Like, you're sacrificing so many teams when you do this. And, for what? You may as well just use a GL at this point. This is why that team pisses me off. Like, you may as well just use a GL. Just doesn't make sense. Bodhi check. Gosh, we'll see, guys. We'll see. I'm not. Egnards and I were just on stream together roasting roster reviews. So it'd feel really cheap for me to start them up again. But no, I mean, I think there's a lot to talk about in terms of, this kind of how to react to this news. I think for a lot of the player base, I'm sure many of you feel this right now, it's not Lord Vader that you're worried about. It's how do I continue with everything else that you're doing, right? Because it's no longer just, the way to think about it, right? You're not just going to have to get Lord Vader, but think of everything else that goes into getting him, right? Think of all those Relic 8s, the Marquis, the Kyratex and stuff. Justin, you guys are not allowed to talk. Justin's stupid accounts are not allowed to get mentioned anymore. We're going to put a fucking ban on them. I'm joking. I love those accounts. I live vicariously through them. But they are stupid. They are absolutely stupid. And he knows that stupid is really just a compliment from me. I hope he knows that stupid is actually a compliment from me. Where's this? Let me move this over here so I get this. But yeah, I did want to show this because I was kind of, like thinking about this a little bit. Like, when you look at this news on the characters that are coming here, did you guys notice that they said Oppo here? Like, he's on Umbara with Pong Krell. And what if Pong Krell is one of these Jedi Vanguards that we're gonna get? You could make an argument that Pong Krell should be dark side or whatever because he's a piece of shit. But like, there's a lot of character whose tags don't make sense. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of characters whose tags don't make sense, and it would be really interesting to see a Jedi Vanguard version of Pong Krell. Thank God deals with the 16 months, my man. Thank you. Appreciate that. We will see on the roster reviews, all right? I can't make any promises, but we will see. We will see. We will see. Just unlocked Lord Vader yesterday. Nice. I know there's a lot of you guys who are starting to unlock Lord Vader. There's a lot of people unlocking Lord Vader. It's kind of crazy. I mean, it's one of those things where these light speed bundles are kind of leading us down. Holy shit, he's gifting. Dude, Dank really. We need a Bodhi emote. I'll have to find a Bodhi emote and give it and figure out how to make that happen. I don't know how to make that work, but I need somebody to teach me that shit. But, I go back to a character, like one of the ones that always comes to my mind on their tags, like, and even alignment not making sense, right, is, like, even go back to, like, Grief Karga. Like, you look at some of these bounty hunters, like Grief Karga. What version of Grief is this? Is this Grief before or after, he lets Mando go? Right? Think about, like, I mean, Boba Fett signed a Django. again, like, is he really light side or dark side? Fennec, light side, dark side. I mean, like, they're not really bad. So, yeah, that's the thing. I agree with you, Pancake Platoon. That's the thing. Lord Vader, when modded properly, this dude, on offense, he's phenomenal. And even on defense, I've had him get a lot of holds against players who don't know what they're doing. That's the biggest thing, is if people don't know how to counter Lord Vader, it's a huge problem. And the other side at times is that if you can mod the rest of his team well, you can extend his usefulness. You know, he increases with the rest of his team pretty significantly. You know, so I think it's, you know, it's been really, I'm really interested to see this kind of this era kind of coming into play here and how it will, you know, transpire. Because when I look at, like, even, you know, you're getting 4 new dark side clones. You're also getting these Jedi Vanguards. You're getting Mace and Jocasta. So that does mean, when you think about that Jedi Vanguard team, there's going to be 1 current Jedi Vanguard in the game. Right? When you kind of think through that and we go to our Jedi Vanguards, there is one of these characters who will be included in that team somewhere. So if I had to guess, my gut assumption goes immediately to Barriss as the one that sort of makes the most sense to fit into that team, of, like, she's the most annoying character to have to deal with. So I wouldn't be surprised if Barriss was in there, which again makes sense because she was just a requirement for freaking GL Ahsoka Tano. And again, if they include Barriss, she was not a Battle for Naboo character. She doesn't have that Battle for Naboo tag, so that sort of helps her availability in the new raid. Imagundi, I mean, hey, if it's Imagundi, I mean, one of the best last stands of all time. You know, that is an epic scene in the Clone Wars, is his final stand for the Twi'leks. I mean, you know, cheers to Imagundi. Ali, R9 Cup is going to be the GOAT. You know, there's a solid shout that Relic 9 Cup. You know, Cup, I mean, that Cup Relic 9 bundle, I cannot wait. That's going to hit. Oh my gosh, it's going to be so pumped. That's a great one. Caleb Wheeler, I'd love Rom Coda or Lightside Dooku. I could 1000% see Lightside Dooku. I could definitely see a Lightside version of Dooku coming to the game, especially since we had Tales of the Jedi. As much as I would love to get Rom Coda, and I would probably cry if we got Rom Coda, I don't know if Rom Coda makes enough sense with the era that they're heading down, right? When you think of the era of, you know, even Lightside Dooku, similar situation, like, I don't know that it makes enough sense with the era, you know, that they're going post-Order, you know, Revenge of the Sith, post-Order 66. I feel like the Jedi they're going to release are going to be somewhat around that time period, right? I feel like that's the direction. If I was them, I feel like that's the direction I would head, and that's where they want to be heading. But we'll have to kind of see how all of that pans out. Kappa's going to be one of the higher non-rec R9s. Honestly, he is. I cannot say enough good things about the way that bundle looks. You know, like, it's going to be awesome. Padawan Cal Kestis? I don't know, Ali. I feel like they're going to go with some Jedi that we've been asking for, whether it's, you know, Pong Krell could be interesting. I don't know how he ties into that era quite so much, but I could also see someone like, you know, I'm looking at, like, the, you know, when I think of characters, I mean, Yaddle, right? I mean, she doesn't tie in quite that well, but, you know, who else? There was one that I had on the tip of my tongue. Oh, Quinlan Voss. Quinlan Voss could be a really, really solid Jedi to bring in that is not represented in the game yet. That, you know, we have a lot of that, like, kind of know who he is. So that could also be something to think about there. But yeah, we'll have to see what they decide to do. Lil Annie to go with Quadme. That would actually be funny. Lil Annie to go with. You know, Padawan Anakin would be. That is a character I'm still waiting. Like, the fact they did Padawan Obi-Wan and Master Qui-Gon opens up the door that we could get a Padawan Anakin. And we already have his skin in the game. He was in GOTB. So, like, Padawan Anakin would be a fire character to add in with, like, a, you know, Jedi Knight Kenobi or something. You know, like, they give us a whole nother angle to go down. A Jedi Wampa. Oh, if it's Jedi Wampa, that might have to be if Fat Phil pulls out the good old Visa gift card or Visa card and, you know, cry myself into a early stupor. So, all right, I am going to give Dank a review for the gifted memberships. That's it. You know, he deserves this. All right, Dank, what do you want out of this? What do we want out of this? I'm not trying to open up the floodgates, but my man gave out some memberships. He's been around for 16 months. I mean, it's deserving. I know he wanted me to look at his Bodhi Rook. I really don't want to look at this Relic 9 Bodhi Rook. I really don't want to do it. I really don't want to do this. I really don't want to do this. And Caleb, to answer your question while I'm waiting for Dank to respond, Ohio State starting quarterback is going to be Julian Sayin. He was the kid that transferred from Alabama. I think he's definitely going to be the best character, or the best quarterback that we have. I'm hearing that he's like, he's the fucking man. Whoop, Bodhi's missing mods. Hey, you're missing mods. What are we doing here? Thought we're supposed to look at Bodhi Rook. No mods on him. What are you doing? What are you doing? No mods. I'm proud of you for taking him off of Bodhi. Let's see. Let's just scroll down a little bit. Where are we at? Night Trooper, okay. So you are stuck on Kyratech for Lord Vader. You have no mods on him yet. Yikes, dude. We gotta get this. We gotta rectify this situation soon. We gotta rectify that situation real soon, man. So you have to be, like, if you are tapped on Zetas at this point, you have to be absolutely tapped on Zetas. Because we've got to start working on those Lord Vaders. Your mod set for him is on Krennic. So you went with the crit damage set. So I'm going to critique you here and say I would get away from this offense build. I would go more with protection on Lord Vader, if I'm honest. You really want more protection on him than the... At least right now. I don't know what'll change with the clones, man, but I'm not, you know... Dang, I love you, man, and I'm not trying to be harsh, but I don't think that's the right mod set for him. You can go with, like, a crit damage triangle on him. But he really wants protection mods all the way around. Because you can get your offense secondaries, but he needs to be able to survive. That's the biggest thing. So I would just say... Like, I would go much more with the protection on him than necessarily crit damage or damage. He'll ramp enough, in my opinion. I think the better option is definitely going with the protection. The reason I like speed on my Galactic Legends is because they have such a fast base speed that you're getting, like, you're missing out. Just for perspective, a base speed set on Lord Vader's granting me like an extra 37 speed or something. Like, you can just get so much more speed on your GLs with a speed set. Like, just here, let me show you. I'm going to go to and I'm just going to put like an offense set on him that's like somewhat fast. Let's see. Let's go with Bows is pretty good. Let's go with Star Killers. Star Killers is pretty freaking good. So if I go to Star Killers here, just for a frame of reference, I'm missing out on, you know, what is that? Almost 60 speed without the speed set. Now, it's not, obviously, they're not quite as good of mods all the way around, but you think I'm missing out on a lot of speed from losing that speed set. Here. Let's just replace it with, let's go here. So, yeah, I mean, I'm missing out on over 30 speed if I take away the speed set. So the speed sets on your GLs are really, really important. So I'm not trying to be overly critical, but I'm not sure that I like those mods for Lord Vader. I think they're a little bit too, they're not taking full advantage of what he can do. Shitstorm, my man, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. Need more yawning, my man. It's coming. You know, it'll be a coming. But yeah, you know, I'm not trying to blow up your whole plan, Dank. I'm giving you. I hope you guys recognize, and I said this to Agnars, it's the same thing. I won't tell you what you want to hear. I'll tell you what I think, and I think that I don't think crit damage set on Lord Vader is the way to go. That's more, you know, I would try to find some offense, some speed and protection. Dude, Shitstorm, yeah, new update. I gotta give Dank here a review before I let him, you know, because he gave out a bunch of memberships, and then we'll keep going. We'll talk more and more about what I think on this update. Let's see if we can find you a couple of, like, good protection things. Like, this would, that's tenacity. Hey, he does, so no, here's the thing, at Pancake. He will not ramp any faster. Yes, you're giving him more critical damage, so he's got a better, like, place to start from. But it doesn't change, like, I'm gonna gain just as much mastery as you are. Now, you're having a larger base stat, but saying he ramps more is not really accurate. You're hitting harder because you have more critical damage, but even just for frame of reference, right? When you look at a character like Lord Vader, think about going up against someone like, you know, here, a good example here, if we go back to that mod set. A good example is go up against somebody like Jedi Master Kenobi. You can't critically hit Jedi Master Kenobi while he has protection up. So, all of this critical damage is doing sweet, you know, nothing against a Kenobi. Whereas, if you're modding him for that protection and he's surviving, but then you're also adding in offense percent secondaries, then he's hitting a lot harder. So that's just something to think about. And I'm not trying to, like, completely put you on blast. I'm just trying to give you the perspective of somebody that's been around the block a time or two. I would go with a speed set and protection-based Lord Vader. But again, you know, you can take that for what it's worth. Ray, I like most of those mods. I don't like them all, but I like most of them. There's a couple, like this one here and this one this one doesn't have offense percent. This one here doesn't have speed. Remember, come on, man. We can't be upgrading things that don't have speed. That's a nice one. That's a very nice mod, 5%. Yeah, so I would just say if there's one thing I can tell you, it's with mods like this, man. And again, follow the matching principle. If I'm giving people advice when I see mods like this, it makes me sad because the stats here don't match up to the set, right? This is an offense mod. There's no offense percent. Does that make sense, Dank? That, like, if you go to, I'm just going to click on my Malicos. Offense percent. You know, offense, crit damage, offense, offense percent, and then here, obviously, it's locked in. That if you're going to use offense set mods, you've got to have percent stats to go with them. Otherwise, yes, the set gives you 15% extra offense, which is great. But I can get 15% off. If you're not going to use the secondaries, I can get 15% from 4 mods without trying super hard and get extra bonuses from them. So, this is the way I review accounts at this point. I'm just going to try to make sure that I can make you guys as good as possible. So, when you're looking at upgrading mods, make sure we're looking at the right ones. Like, this is a brilliant mod. Offense, right? Health percent, that's good. This one's that's a very good one for a tank. That's, 15% defense. I love seeing defense percent. This one, your defense percent's all right. Speed's a little low, but, you got the defense there. That is a solid mod. Protection, health percent, that's really good. This one's also very, very good. And this one is solid. I'm not going to say it's great, but it's solid. It's solid. And then let's take a look at, let's go to Drogon here. So that's good. So here again, I would have recommended you get offense percent. I'm very picky though. Like, I'm very, very picky. I won't use a critical damage triangle unless it's got offense percent. I have a couple in my account that exist and I don't like them. Same thing here. Really nice speed, but no offense percent. Good offense percent there. Here you've got the offense percent, so that's good, right? Even though it's not a lot, it's still better than nothing. And then here you don't get a choice. But I would just try to really focus on that if you can. It's something to really consider at your level. Trying to find those kind of optimal mods is going to make the difference. So here's my argument with speed, and Justin's going to yell at me for this. Caleb, I will answer that question in a second because that's a great question. Here's my argument of, like, speed. Speed only matters to the point that you're not getting lapped, that your character isn't just getting, like, destroyed by somebody. Like, a great example is my Supreme Leader Kylo Ren is 573 speed, right? So 573 speed on my Kylo. It's nothing crazy. Most people would have theirs faster. Let's see how fast your Kylo is. So I'm at 573. You're at 571. Now, you're running offense, crit damage there, and, speed up here. Now, obviously, I'm Relic 8, so I'm getting a bit more stats out of him. But I'm running a health primary here, crit damage, health, all that stuff. So I'm at 573, but I've got 160k health and 12,000 offense. Like, those are all very good stats for Kylo, and yes, I'm sacrificing speed on a couple of these, but I'm gaining stats that he really wants, like offense or health. So, it's kind of just, I'm trying to show you guys, like, hey, here's a couple of things to think about, especially as an 11 million account. You really want to start trying to get into a little bit more fine-tuning. And then you said after Balin, what do you pursue? I mean, you're pretty far away from Merrick. I mean, I would get... You don't have Zetas, right? If you had Zetas, my answer would be different. But you need 3 Zetas here. You need Zetas on Shin and Merrick. You need Zetas on Balin. I mean, what I would probably do is I would farm their shards. And then as you're getting closer, you make that decision on, do you have the Zetas available to upgrade? So that's just something to think about there. That, like, how many Zetas do you need to still finish off on Lord Vader? Do you have the Zetas to equip on the mercenaries when you get them? And then trying to pursue that new content, will you have the Zetas to go there? Will you have the Zetas to put on Jocasta Nu when you unlock her as well? So I'd probably say farm the shards and just don't invest the gear yet until you know more. That's kind of my logic there. I think I'd say bank on the new content, particularly looking at the clones for Lord Vader. But I would, as a backup plan, while you're waiting for those things to go farmable, I would start pursuing some of that newer content to help boost your account. That's what I would do. At 11 million GP, I think you're at that point where you can have that, you can do that and you're not going to be completely sacrificing something that would be, devastating to your account, if that makes sense. You've got all the ships. That's good. Yeah, I wanted to make sure you have all your ships. Yeah, your ships, I mean, I think they look fine. Yeah, I would just say depend on the new content, but if you're in that position to equip the mercenaries and get Balin, I would do that as well. So, now I did want to go back up because Caleb Wheeler asked a really good question. Do I prefer crit damage triangles or offense triangles? So, yes, that's a really, really good question. And it kind of depends on the character, and it depends on the kind of damage they deal, and also depends on how I'm using them. So, for example, if I went to, who would I use here? Who's got offense? Like, I think my Kenobi has offense, simply because it's fast, right? That makes sense. Another character I would say I run offense on would be someone like Fennec. Fennec is another one that I'm running offense on. Other notables with just offense percent. Let's see. I don't think you are. I think you're critical damage. I know he's offense. BT1, I'm running offense. Let's go here. You and offense percent. So yeah, CLS, because he shares it. The Finn, Bo-Katan, this guy, it's just kind of there. Same with Lando. Like, some of them, it's just, hey, it is what it is. Padawan Obi-Wan, again, I'd love to get critical damage, but it is what I have for the set. So I would argue that on some characters, if they have a lower critical chance, I'll run offense percent, or if I'm using them on a team where there's potential that they're not going to critically hit as much, I'll use offense. Other times what I will do is that, at least I'll say I try, that if I'm going to run critical damage on somebody, they've got to at least have offense percent. Like this one on Fifth Brother was a huge, I hate this mod, but it's an example that I've learned from my mistake that, like, it doesn't have offense percent, so it's like, it doesn't help you, right? Think about it like this. If you go into a situation where you can't critically hit somebody, the only benefit I'm getting out of this mod is the secondaries, because the primary is completely useless. Whereas, say, this one on Cassian, where I've got 42% critical damage, but I've also got 6.39% offense. So even if I can't critically hit my opponent, I'm still juicing my offense by 6%. I'm still getting additional benefit out of it. So I would say that critical damage triangles are better as long as they have offense percent on them. If they don't have offense percent, then I'd avoid a critical damage triangle because you're shoehorning yourself, right? Critical damage is a situational stat. If you can't critically hit, it's doing nothing for you. And there's a lot of stuff before you're like, oh, there's a lot of times where you can't critically hit an opponent and it does 0, right? So even like this one on Sith, Trooper, like, it's got offense percent. I didn't roll any of it, but it's there. Sometimes you hit them and sometimes you miss, and you've got to live with that and move on, right? So some of them turn out really good. Some of them don't turn out so good. And then some of them turn out to be friggin' amazing. So that is something that I try to, encourage you guys, is always look for that offense percent to juice those stats. Simply because I think that's much more worthwhile. Lord Vader to Relic 9. Gosh. I mean, he definitely benefits from Relic 9. He likes protection. The mastery will be good. I mean, here's the thing. Like, your critical damage on him, like, at Relic 8, I've still got 142% critical damage. I mean, like, he's good. But he doesn't gain, like, the thing is, your critical damage, he's not gaining that by taking him to extra relic levels. It doesn't go up for him. His mastery is damage and defense penetration. His mastery isn't critical damage. So, like, you don't need to be juicing him for critical damage because it's not part of his mastery. Give me one sec, guys. The wife's calling. All right, guys, give me one sec. As Ali just said, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Like the stream. I will be right back. I've got to go help move a child and take the one dog outside. Yawn. All right, we are back. Apologies for the delay. What did I miss? Shitstorm. I'm ready for Lord Vader's new team and hope it stops Bo-Katan and helps Lord Vader take out Ahsoka. I really think this new, kind of switching back, because I know some of you heard this, but I think this new era with Lord Vader, I feel like it's been a long time coming, right? I don't think they've ever loved Lord Vader's performance, and I feel like they've constantly tried to, what's the wording here? I feel like they've tried little things to make him better, and none of it has really panned out, and I feel like a lot of it just comes down to they tried to go outside the box with him, and it didn't work, right? But yeah, I'm excited. Like, I think this new team, the other thing I think this opens up, again, I was saying this earlier, I think what this really opens up that's almost a little bit more exciting is how all of you are going to end up using the characters from Lord Vader's team. Like Thrawn, Maul, Royal Guard, all of those are going to fit into some unique teams that maybe we're not currently using. So that could be really cool too. So yeah, I mean, I'm pumped. I definitely think if you're free to play, I'm not going to lie, and we'll talk about this more in some other videos. I have a feeling that as a free to play, this is going to be a very challenging raid because you're onto 3 new teams. You've got this new Bad Batch, the new Clone Troopers, and the Jedi Vanguard faction. Those are 3 kind of major new things that you're going to have to be farming to get a hold of. Sam Kelly, I have just unlocked Lord Vader. I have none of his current squad geared up. Should I gear up his current ideal team or wait for the clones and build them? Yeah, if you don't have any of his team built up, I'm not going to lie, I wouldn't really invest the resources right now. What I would do is bring him on offense. He'll solo enough mediocre teams. But I don't know that I would sit there and invest in my Royal Guard and, I mean, maybe not go crazy on Royal Guard and Thrawn. Because they are Sith Eternal Rex, so you are going to get some benefit out of them. But, maybe you can not go quite as crazy there. But, yeah, unfortunately, with, his options can begin to get limited when you don't have a lot of relics invested there. And you're not going to want to invest those relics if there's a new team coming. What I will say, Sam, is if you're not going to build the current team, then you have to go hard on the new one. So what I don't want you guys doing is, I'm not going to build Royal Guard because I don't want to have him for Lord Vader if he's going to get a brand new team. But then the new team comes out and you're like, well, I'm not going to farm the new team. They take too much Kyrotech or they've got too many Zetas or I don't have the mods. Like, you've got to commit one way or the other. You can't just have this GL sitting your account and do nothing. That's what Sith Eternal's there for. So, we've got to balance that a little bit. Yeah, Caleb, I hope for the same thing. I hope I really hope that the new Lord V team doesn't. Oh no, I want the new Lord Vader team to not have any non-galactic legend counters. Like, I do not want that team to get beat by anything because I'm so ready for people to have to actually think about how to beat Lord Vader. And that includes myself. I can't tell you the last time that I saw a Lord Vader team and I was like, what should I use? And it's normally pretty friggin' obvious. What I will say is I guarantee that this new team will be very dependent on 2 things. A lot of mastery, so higher relic levels, and I would say that they're going to be all extremely thick. That they're going to have that, health and protection like Lord Vader's got. They're going to want to make them as ridiculously stupid as possible. That's just my thought. We'll kind of see how that pans out. Old man, anybody know how Zalbarkron is doing? Yeah, so I actually faced one my first round, and I beat it with Afra. Now, it wasn't the cleanest of banners, but I still beat it with Afra. I was kind of curious to see if that would work. It's definitely annoying, but I don't think it's... If I'm beating it with Afra, I'm sure there's teams that will beat it for way better banners than she did. BW, knowing I'm 4 to 5 months from Leviathan, is it still more important than pivoting to the Lord Vader? Yeah, Leviathan's way more important. Leviathan is that's your source of crystals. Leviathan's your source of, like, steady fleet crystals. Leviathan's way more important. Ships should always take precedence. Ships take precedent, in my opinion. I don't think you're not going to get the crystals from Lord Vader that you'll get out of Leviathan. That's at least the way I see it. Justin will probably yell at me and say otherwise, but that's the way I feel. That you're better off that way. Yeah, the yawns. I definitely can feel there's definitely some yawns coming here soon. But I've seen a couple of comments. Justin, drop the ally code of your stupid account while I load up another beverage. Drop the ally code of your stupid account, you bastard. I mean, yeah, but how many people can't get past Lord Vader? Ships are definitely not nearly as fun, especially Leviathan. Leviathan's probably the most boring ship to use inside a Swago. There's nothing worse than when you fall to, like the one time I remember, I fell to, like, 18 in Fleet Arena one day, and I just was like, oh, I have to do this battle 4 frickin' times. And it was so damn annoying. It was so damn annoying to do that battle that many times. I wanted to cry. But Lord Vader's not going to be a raid character. So you can't, like, you're not going to get, like, Lord Vader. They already said Lord Vader's not a raid character. The team will be, and Tarkin will be, but he himself is not a raid character. And I think that's a very interesting decision to make on their part. Like, I very much felt that was an interesting decision to make on their part, to be like, yeah, we ain't making this guy a raid character. Yeah, the Lord Vader's the raid boss. I'd probably agree with that. It's gonna be, it'll be interesting, but it kind of, you're like, ugh. That's why I'm excited for the era battle of using Lord Vader and the clones in the Jedi Temple, because that's like, I mean, I said earlier, that was my childhood of playing Star Wars Battlefront 2, is just playing Rise of the Empire and just replaying the Jedi mission over and over again. No, I mean, yeah, like, that's the one thing that I hope you guys do put in the back of your head, that, like, don't rush Lord Vader because he's going to be needed in the raid. He's not in the raid. Tarkin's in the raid, the new clones are in the raid, but Lord Vader himself is not. Master Skywalker, there are too many of them. What are we going to do? Justin, are you going to drop your stupid account? You going to drop it? I didn't see your code. You going to drop it so people can see just how stupid this thing is? Caleb, going back to that, like, raid, getting a raid exclusive character would be interesting. I would actually be very interested to see how that would pan out of, hey, we're going to drop a new raid exclusive character for, Mark III raid. I would say the only thing that makes me nervous with that is, take, for example, if I know that the next character is going to be raid currency and I'm in the current Naboo raid, I'm going to start saving my stuff, right? That's the only argument I would make, is a lot of us would end up saving it because we simply can. All right, here we go. Everybody be prepared for just the stupidity that is this account. So it has a Relic 9 Reva, all Relic Inquisitors, before 2 million galactic power. What the living hell is this account? What the hell? This account is so stupid. I mean, it's hilarious to see that this account has Reva and Cam, Starkiller, Hondo, and that's a legit Hondo too. That's a legit Hondo. That's not a Lightspeed bundle Hondo. Hondo was a Relic 5 in the Lightspeed. That's a legit Hondo. Good God. This is the bullshit of all bullshit. And, like, I know he's not a, complete slouch on speed either. I mean, like, that's 2 million GP with a and he's not even have he's missing 2 speed. Like, I know this account is not, like, he's got some very impressive speed on this account as well. Which is incredibly funny. Like, even look at Starkiller. Starkiller's 265. That's still pretty solid speed. Most of you don't have that. Just an insane account. And not saying that everybody's got, great speed, but, it's there. Look, even Echo, look at this. Even his Echo still has 118 speed, but just random crap on it. Look at that mod. That's an absurd mod. Like, there's a lot of them here that have so much potential to be very, very good. Just so stupid. Like, and I know that this account sits in, whatever, Bronzium. There's no way people beat this team. There's no way people are beating this. And, like, the ships, too, it's even funnier that, like, you've got he's got a Relic Jedi Knight Anakin, and it doesn't start. I mean, that's so funny. I mean, Justin, obviously, you know what I'm going to say. We got to do something about these ships, man. There's some pathetic ship action going on here. GAC opponents probably look like Ben Affleck smoking a cigarette. They see full Relic Tuskens on one wall, Reva on the other one, and just walk away. God. This is such a bullshit account. This is such a bullshit account. I hate this account with a burning passion. And I know you're trying to get Bo-Katan Mandalore too. Gosh, it's just insane. Just blows my mind. I cannot stand that account. Yeah, so he puts Reva in front of ships so that way he puts Mace Windu's ship on defense with a bunch of level 1 ships there just to get the points. Oh, that's classic. That is rich. That is rich. You guys want to see something else that's rich? You guys want to see who my guild's going up against in Territory Wars? Ready? It's a pretty even matchup. We're going up against Maw Vanguard of Disorder. We saw this matchup and we're just like, yep, everyone have a good weekend. Like, this stuff, I cannot tell you how much this shit pisses me off. I mean, this is like, we could set every GL on defense that we have and they still would full clear us with no problem. Just ridiculousness. Yeah, dude, I'm telling you. Like, what are we doing here? Right? Like, if you go to, like, the leaderboards, too, this is the part that's, like, just, you know, all right, Guild Galactic Power, they're number 4. Territory Wars, oh, look, they're the number 1 guild. Christ alive. I mean, like, what are we supposed to do at that point, right? You know, it just, yeah. Yeah, they have their own sandbox mode, too. Not that they need a sandbox mode to beat our ass. They're just gonna sit there and look like a bunch of freaking fish in a barrel. Yeah, Shitstorm, that's right. Shitstorm, your guild is 5. Yeah, you guys are what? Over here, right? Rise of the Fallen. Which is impressive because you're a little bit further down in the GP, right? Yeah, you guys are 28 in the GP. It's pretty solid. It is crazy to me, though, when you look at this list. Like, you go from 753, which is just, what the hell? And then you go all the way down to, like, 700. Then you get to 696. And then it's 683 to 680. And then 670s. And then once you get into, like, the 650 range, it's just, you know, the floodgates open and there's a bunch of guilds at 650 and the 640s and the 30s. Like, there's just so many guilds in, like, a certain range. And then you just have a couple that are like, ha, we're way bigger than you. It's crazy. It's always just blows my mind how different this is compared to, you know, everything else. I mean, like, this is an average of 15 million per player. Maw Chromium. 15 million per player. That is insane. Insane. 15 million. I can't even fathom that much galactic power. I wouldn't even know what to do. I don't know what guild Alan's in. We definitely have faced his guild in Territory Wars. Again, got spanked. Isn't Aesop? I don't know what guilds. I know like a couple guilds that people are in, but I can't keep. I know Arnold's changed guilds a bunch of times. Guys, I don't know that I'm actually doing. I did roster for Dank because he paid for 5 memberships, and Justin's wasn't really a review. Somebody was just begging me to show that his 2 million account had all that bullshit. I don't know that I'm doing roster reviews tonight because I'm gonna be getting off here and, you know, going to bed. And there's something, this got brought up, and this is something that Agnards and I were talking about when it comes to roster reviews that's just really hard, is, like, to really do a good review, it takes a lot of time and a lot of effort. And with all the stuff that goes on in the game, it's a lot. You know, it's a lot. No, I haven't even touched GAC yet. I'll do that tomorrow. I wasn't even planning to do it tonight. I can't. I'm not, guys, go to bed and yawn more, seriously. Because with roster reviews, it can be a lot to do, and I know what happens. Every single time I do a roster review stream, towards the end, it just tails off, because I get tired, I get bored, I'm saying the same thing over and over and over again. You know, there's just something to... I don't want to play my GACs tonight. I don't feel like doing GAC. I don't feel like doing my GAC. I'll play it tomorrow. Because my opponent hasn't... This is the thing. This is why I don't stream my GACs anymore. My opponent hasn't attacked yet. I like to at least go second or the next day to make them think. I like to make my opponent sweat a little bit. I like to attack second. You know, that's just the way I am. Night, Caleb. No, I will not do... I seriously will not do my GAC tonight. I've learned my lesson. I've done GACs late at night, and it's just not worth it. I'll do them in the morning or something. See if my opponent attacks. But yeah, I don't know, guys. I had, just some awful luck when I was streaming my GACs regularly. Where, not just, that I was dropping, but I'd get beat by a couple of banners here or there, and it was a mess. And... It got to the point where I was like, you know what? I do better when I'm not streaming it, and I'm going to be selfish and not stream. It's just the way, that's just the God's honest truth to that one. LBC Robbie, hey brother, haven't seen you live for a bit. How are you? I forgot to congratulate you on Ohio State. You should try to make it here next year. They play SC away. Yeah, that I am not making it out to SC. There's not a chance I will make it out there. My wife would murder me if I even went to Columbus to go to a game, let alone to SC. Yeah, it was a good year to be an Ohio State fan, though. I mean, I say good year being December 20th to the national championship. Before that, it got a little bit brutal there for a bit. But yeah, we ended it well. Job done, won the national title. Felt pretty, belt to ass in every one of those games. Just like the Philadelphia Eagles took a belt to everybody's ass. Dude, I would not. Are you joking? You think I would not love LA? I would not. I'm wearing an American flag fish hat on my head. I would not fit in Los Angeles. I'm the last person that would fit in LA. Yeah, that is a city that I do not fit in with. But you guys have questions on before, because I'm going to be wrapping up here soon because I have to wake up early. Do you guys got any burning questions on kind of the update? On, what you're, I have other thoughts that I want to save for some videos and things kind of going into, hey, if I'm at this level, this is what I would be building. But, overall, there's still a lot of information to come. We don't know all the raid characters yet. Let's see if LA sucks. If you came to California, stay in Northern California. Yeah, I just try to avoid all of California, and then I'm safe. So damn expensive. Nobody likes the way that I think. The last time I was in California was 2011. It was 2011. We were in San Francisco. Do I think the new mace could work with Jedi Master Kenobi? It's not that I don't think it'll matter, because that's not where he's going to go. He's going to lead the Jedi Vanguard. So, like, you're not going to put the new Mace Windu with Jedi Master Kenobi, because he's going to be leading Jocasta Nu and the Jedi Vanguard that are coming. So, I don't think that really... Do you know what I mean, Sam? Like, it's kind of like asking if... A good question... A good way to say that is, would Snips work with Queen Amidala? I mean, sure, but... You're not going to put Snips with Queen Amidala when you can put Snips with Jedi Master Kenobi, right? That's kind of the way I'd say, like, Mace going with Jedi Master Kenobi. You're not going to put him there because he's going to go under the, you know, he's going to be leading the Jedi Vanguard team. That's kind of the logic that I'm going to apply there. I think the new Mace will be very good. They've done a lot of the characters they've released are all bangers. They really haven't had many misses lately, so, you know, that's definitely something to think about. Everyone hates LA, but you all keep coming and staying to complain about traffic, yet never leave. I've never been. I can tell you that. I've never been. I'd love to visit LA, but I just have never been able to bring myself to do it. It's so, I mean, dude, it's crazy. When you see, like, the lines of traffic in there, just like, ugh. I get pissed off when there's like 10 cars in traffic here around me. If I see a horse and buggy on the road, I get pissed off. Some of you probably don't even know that horse and buggies are still a thing, but trust me, out here where I live, horse and buggies are a thing. How good is the new Bad Batch? So, now, I personally don't know. I personally don't know how good they are, but I will say that I have a feeling that they'll be a team that you'll want. I know Arnold's done some interesting things. I always kind of take his testing with a grain of salt because, you know, he obviously is pretty friggin' good at the game. He spends a lot of time on it. He's got good mods and good relic levels. Like, I don't know that it makes sense to necessarily say that his testing is the Bible, but... You know, he did some really interesting things. I think they're going to be a team that you'll want. Again, my argument here would be if it's a decision of if I could have the new Bad Batch right now or the new Clone Troopers right now, I'd take the new Clone Troopers and put them with Lord Vader. That's kind of the way that my brain works there. I think this will be a very serviceable team. And I think where a lot of these newer teams are going to start shining is if people like Justin and their stupid ass accounts get them early, right? Because there's not enough data to know what the hell counters these teams, and the stuff that does is probably not things that are currently, you know, accessible to people in Carbonite. So just some food for thought there to make his opponents hate him even more. Oh. What are your thoughts on the newest Pendover? God, what a great name. What are your thoughts on the newest Conquest character being essentially useless without all the new ones? Yeah, I mean... I definitely can see a side where it's like, yeah, I would have waited... I feel like they wanted to get her in the game sooner, so that way more players had time to farm her shards before the raid. But yeah, I would have preferred to have this Jedi Vanguard team in sooner so I could see what they do. She'll go with a random team for now, and that'll be fine. But yeah, I wish, I would say that I'm a little bit like, what the hell? By the time I unlock her, I want to be able to use her in her fullest capacity. Like, it would have been like releasing Queen Amidala before the Poncho Bros. Just doesn't make sense. You know, like, let's kind of try to release these people all at once. And I mean, we still have a little bit of time, but yeah, I don't think we're going to get any of all the Vanguards in time for her. Unit released so that way we can be working towards them, because that would be nice. You know, it'd be nice to know how this team operates and what mods and turn order and whatever the hell else they thrive off of. Any other burning questions you guys have? You asked a couple of very good questions. I gotta say, you guys have been kind of killing it here in this question section. This is good. Like, I gotta say, I enjoy this. I'm enjoying the questions. I very much enjoy the questions. When's the next live stream? I do not know. I don't know when my next live stream will be. I don't really plan these out. What's really under the pyramids? Oh, dude, what's really under pyramids? I do not know, but whatever they're finding under there is not what Egyptologists wanted us to know. You got any tips for getting a 1-year-old to sleep? So, Tyler, what I used to do is I would sit there with, Harper or Charlie, and I learned, like, very early on that I used to be, like, so quiet, that you try to be, like, so quiet, you don't make a noise. I slowly learned that, like, having, like, the TV on a little bit low or having, like, my phone on, that it would kind of help me get them to sleep. It would keep me entertained, and then you just sat there, and I just remember sitting there just rocking them the whole time. Just sat there, rocked them with a little bit of kind of white noise in the background, and that would normally get them to pass out. Ooh, do I have a football? I absolutely do have. 1 second. I do have a football team that I support. Hold on. Or probably be backwards in the camera, but I absolutely have a club that I support. It's Chelsea. All right, I love Chelsea. That's my club. That's a team that I've supported since I was a kid. Yeah, this is my club. And Tyler, just to even give you a little bit more, I've live streamed while holding Charlie and put her to sleep. That's disgusting. Nah, dude. Who do you support, man? There's no way the team that you support is any more disgusting than Chelsea. Come on, mate. There's no way. Not a chance in hell. I actually was in... It's been almost a year. I was in London. I should say I was staying in Newcastle for my last job that I was at. And I... ended up taking the train ride down to London for Chelsea's last match of the season. It was Poch's last game, Conor Gallagher's last game, when Caicedo hit that, like, half, that volley from, like, midfield when we beat Bournemouth. I haven't heard of you won't have heard of your team, Portsmouth? Yeah. That's where Mason Mount's from. That twat from Portsmouth. That money-grabbing whore. Yeah, I've heard of Portsmouth. You would be surprised how much of the football pyramid that I'm not going to say I know them all, but you'd probably be surprised how much of the football pyramid I'm aware of. I've got a friend of mine I used to play Star Wars with. He's actually a Stockport fan. I followed Stockport since they were in like the National League, and them and Wrexham have kind of been like, getting promoted up together, which is funny because Wrexham gets all the attention, but like Stockport's been doing just as, if not better. Yeah, I love watching and playing soccer. I know you get disgusted by me saying soccer, but beat us in a World Cup game and then we'll call it football. But until then, it's soccer. Especially since you had 2 countries that failed to beat us in the last World Cup. Dank Ideals. What do I use my guild, your Get 3 on when I have all tunes, Kairos, and attenuators? I mean, Kairos and attenuators? Dude, I would never buy Kyrotech with them. I would buy attenuators or relic materials. At this point, I'm only buying attenuators only because I'm getting all my relic materials from everything else. But I think attenuators are kind of the way to go. They're just such a, random thing. The other thing I would say is you could spend them on Omicrons as well. Just another way to kind of increase your Omicron. So that's another option if you wanted to spend your Get 3. Could get some extra Omicrons every single month. It's not like it's a crazy amount, but, depending on how many you need, it can make a difference. If we played you now, you'd get smashed. I mean, listen, we've not been good this season. Not been good for a little bit, but we're the only club in London with a European Cup, and we can hang on to that title for that. Only club in London with a European Cup. What else you guys got? I'm here for this. I'm staying awake. I'm not gonna say I can stay on a hell of a lot longer. I'm golfing tomorrow, which, by the way, I suck at golf. I'm as bad at golf as Sith Eternal is at killing anything without Bane. Oh my god. I really wish this mod store had better shit in it, by the way. Really wish this did. Listen, I can say we when I refer to Chelsea. Like, I'm part of that club. I say we when I talk about the Eagles. I sure as fuck am not on the field. 5'9", 150 pounds, sopping wet ain't getting me on any field unless it's in the slot for the Patriots. They'll take anybody. Signing Stephon Diggs to $70 million. Pfft. Favorite Chelsea player all time and current. Well, current, it's got to be Cole Palmer. I mean, that's a no-brainer. Cole Palmer for current. All-time favorite Chelsea player. Man. That's tough. It's very tough. Man, yeah. I'll say it like this. My head says Frank Lampard, my heart says John Terry. My head says Frank Lampard, my heart says John Terry. I loved John Terry, Mr. Chelsea, that was, but my head says Frank Lampard because, when Terry was suspended for the Champions League final, who stepped up and wore the captain's armband and, filled his shoes without question? Frankie Lampard. Favorite sushi? I don't even know. I don't know. Like a salmon. I don't know. I don't know enough about sushi. I know I like some of it. I know I don't like others. I like a spicy tuna roll, probably the best. How do I feel about Lord Vader, Lifter, Maul being removed from the Lord Vader team? No, that's a good question, but I don't think anybody's actually asked that. Ben Dover. Fucking love that name. No, I actually am okay with it because I think it will kind of force players to build the Mandalorian team. Right? You'll end up building Canderous and the Imperial Super Commando and Gar Saxon, and then it either opens up, okay, you've got to use Django, or a home for Dark Trooper Moff Gideon. So I feel like the update here actually works really well because it's going to give you that outlet of, here's a way to use Maul that you're not doing. Here's a way to use Maul. Sorry for that. It's a way to use Maul that you're not using him currently for. And I think Dark Trooper Moff Gideon has a lot of really good abilities. So I have this feeling that there's going to be some really interesting stuff here. So yeah, I'm kind of excited for this. I feel like they're going to I feel like it'll open up some doors that maybe people haven't explored. So yeah, like I'm kind of excited because again, I have the Mandalorian guys. I'm not going to say that they're brilliantly modded, but they're at least, good enough, and I can update their relic levels if I need to. But I think it'll be pretty cool to see how that team begins to make its way into the meta, because that is I use that team in 3v3 on offense a lot. Since I bring Lord Vader on offense, I use those guys, and I do some really interesting things, so I'm pretty pumped for that. Ugh. Yeah. Any last other questions? Old man got Dark Trooper Moff Gideon coming soon. How would Peridia Bros run with him? Maul's here tomorrow. His drops have been nice. Yeah, I mean, the Peridia Troopers with Dark Trooper Moff Gideon is a very good team. I can use the 5 troopers I have here at Relic 7. They work really well in territory battles. You can use them for territory wars, for Grand Arena. In Grand Arena and Territory Wars, I'll normally sub out Death Trooper and Night Trooper, and I use them as Night Sisters with Great Mothers and Morgan. And then for my remnants, I'll run Scout, Moff Gideon, Enoch, and Death Trooper. But if you don't have those options at Imperial Remnant, which is perfectly fine, the Peridia Bros work really well with Dark Trooper Moff Gideon. I use them in Conquest a lot. That's a team I use a lot there. Well, with the Revenge of the Sith 20th anniversary, do I think we will see a new unit for Jedi Master Kenobi? I'm going to say no. And I'm going to say no on the premise that I feel like his team is already kind of perfect. That I feel like adding any more characters here, you're taking away something, and they're not going to get used anywhere. Think if you replace the tank in, General Kenobi, where do you use General? General Kenobi's the one that you could replace, but it feels so weird to take him out of that team. You'd need a really good tank in there. But you can't really replace Padme or Snips or Commander Tano because they provide these really important uses there. And General Kenobi as the tank's kind of the one that I could argue for, but I mean, because he can go in a bunch of other teams, but I just don't see that replacement happening. Ali asked, am I going to the theater to see Revenge of the Sith? No. I love Star Wars. I have the DVDs. I've got Disney Plus. I have no need to go to the movie theater. I don't need, like, I will not, like, there's a certain level where, like, I won't do something. I'm not going to go to the movies to see a movie that I've already seen in theaters. I mean, I saw it when I was, 11 years old in theaters. So, like, I remember what that was like. I remember, like, I had a hoodie on and I flipped up my hood when, Anakin turned into, Lord Vader. Like, I have those memories and I want those to stay that. I don't want to pay $18 for popcorn. I can get a whole thing of those at Costco for $18. Yeah, old man, I really do think that's a very good move. I will say that Remnant team with the bros and him all work so well together. They really do. Like, in Conquest, I press auto with that team, and they clear everything that I need them to. You've got multiple cleanses. Oh, excuse me. If you're using Scout Trooper and Enoch, you've got a lot of AoE attacks, which is really nice. There's some really good stuff that those characters kind of all facilitate together. I very much like that. But I think unless there's another question, I think I'm gonna call it a night here. I've got to get to bed, and because Charlie will probably be up at 5 a.m. screaming she wants a snack. But you guys got any last things before I just call it a night here? I really appreciate everybody hopping on the stream. Wasn't really trying to do, I'm not going to lie, I wasn't trying to do any kind of roster reviews tonight. Just kind of wanted to get on, talk to you guys a little bit, let you know that I was still alive and not a simulation or, pre-recorded videos. But no, I appreciate you guys. It was a lot of fun just kind of chat with you all. Oh. Yeah, old man, went to the original in June 77, but wasn't born till July. Went with me to every other one except 7, 8, 9. Damn, good for you. Yeah, I've been to... I saw Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith, The Rise of Skywalker, Rogue One. I didn't see Solo in theaters, but then I saw 7, 8, 9 all in theaters. But yeah, no, I appreciate everybody hopping on the stream tonight. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. I love you all. May the Force be with you, and I will see you all